Well, we always have fun with these people anyway, and McLean turned out to be a very delightful guy, probably responsible for one of the most hideous things that could ever get stuck in your head. Although you like the song,
I
right?
love this song. You have a weird relationship with American Pie.
It's a horrible song.
I love it.
Bye, bye, Miss American Pie. Took my Chevy to the levee because the Vega engine died. Yeah, because you were just going to throw it right into the banks of the river. What are you talking about? Just let it go right off the cliff, like you were Matthew McConaughey trying to sell Lincoln Continentals. So McLean was pushing a Christmas album. That's why he came on the show. He's talked about Bye Bye Miss American Pie for 50 years. I mean, how much more can you milk that thing? Although,
He's done well.
wow.
Milk the shit out of it. It's in movies.
Worst song that gets stuck in your head, Bye Bye Miss American Pie or You Light Up My Life, Debbie Boone,
No,
who we
the
also
Debbie
spoke
Boone
with about the very same thing.
The Debbie Boone one is the one. American Pie I like, and I don't mind it. The Debbie Boone one, and she agreed with you, which I appreciated.
It's annoying.
That's rough.
Yeah. You light up my life.
It's very soapy. And
Fuck, what are you talking about?
No one makes me feel that way in real life. Like,
Yeah, imagine you're on your knees and you're singing to this woman that has stimulated you to a point that you never imagined you were capable of going to. You light up my life. No, you don't, man. Usually it's like you may as well just be, it isn't like you're putting water on a fire, man. I mean, what are you talking about? Just dousing the flame of what burns inside me and making me feel like it wasn't even worth living anymore. Huh? Why doesn't somebody write a song about that?
The time. Wake up with Defo, joined by Lubie. Welcome to the Defo Show.
Very pleasant. Good morning, everybody. Great to be with you here. The Defo Show. Jeff DeForest, along with the inimitable Mike Lubie Lubitz, the omnipresent Mike Lubie Lubitz. Great to be with you here on this Thursday. Sorry about the late start. I actually did something that I really, if you were ever going to get down on yourself for something, I started reacting to something that was on social media where I was under a brief attack on social media for a comment that I made on a friend of mine's thread where I was trying to be psychologically helpful and offered a piece of advice that I often think about myself. Gentleman, it was our good friend, Joe Casal, who's always very forthright with all of the things that he's talking about, has a strong opinion on a lot of different things. And, I've commented on his things in the past there. And I know I often find his thoughts to be provoking and thought-provoking, and you start looking at things maybe from a little bit of a different perspective. Seems to be very well informed about a lot of things. Anyway, he was talking about in this thread how an incident recently conjured up some of the most bitter memories of his lifetime. That he had an unfortunate incident years ago, got involved in a car accident, got mowed down while he was in London doing some kind of business, and that a lot of people betrayed him after that, and a lot of things went wrong. You know how it is, Lubie. I mean, it really is true to a large extent that when you're facing your most difficult period of time, and maybe you've gotten to the point where you're not as useful to other people as you might have been, and you find out who your friends are. And he felt like a deep-rooted betrayal by a lot of people. So he was talking about that, perfectly, entitled to, and saying that it's not something that even to this day that he feels good about, right? So, you know me. I mean, one of my favorite lyricists and, or if you want to call it a poet, artist ever. I think he was responsible, Lubie, for the single greatest lyric. When people put up those things on social media about what's the greatest line ever in any song, rock song especially, I often point to what I think is one of the best lines ever written in any piece of music, and it was by the late, great Jim Morrison, who was only around to be, 25 years old? Imagine how much this guy accomplished, even though, it was a nutbag. He couldn't handle his own life. But still, gave us the lyric, cancel my subscription to the resurrection, send my credentials to the house of detention. You're not hearing that. That's not in. You lied. I don't want to go into that again.
Yeah.
But is that not a great line? Think about that. Some guy, like in his 20s, thought of this, inserted it, and fused it into a song and made it work. Cancel my subscription to the resurrection. And talking about not believing in general principles that are foisted upon us and that people try to get us to believe. Send my credentials to the house of detention. I got some friends inside. Now, that's a great line. So anyway, one of my other favorite Jim Morrison lines, and it's a very difficult thing to do. And if you think about it, Lubie, It has many, many layers to it and many ways to interpret it. And it's just the simplest of lines, three words. Learn to forget, Lubie. Think about that for a second. I don't know what that means to you, but it doesn't necessarily mean that you're ever going to be able to do that. But is it not? I mean, you're mad at a bunch of people or whatever. Just learn to forget. Figure out a way to forget about it. Essentially, find a way to get past it. Learn to forget. It doesn't mean that you ever permanently erase what was an indelible impression on your mind, but it might help you deal with things in a different fashion if you find a way to learn to forget. Simple? No? So I wrote that. I put Jim Morrison, Learn to Forget, on this guy's thread. And then I was subject to immense attack, Lubie, as being an insensitive jackoff who, was trouncing this man's confessions of his most intimate dark secrets, which was the last thing on earth that I meant to do. I had no intention of doing anything but saying, hey, you know what? This is not easy to do. But somehow you essentially have to learn to get past everything.
Yeah, we've all been fucked. I mean, I don't know. Believe me, you're calling the thing that happened to me 2 weeks ago the fucking.
The fucking, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, are you kidding me?
Learn to forget. I mean, learn to deal with it. That's part of it. It doesn't mean that you're going to be able to do it. It doesn't mean that you can erase the most traumatic things that happen to you in your life completely from your mind, but you can learn to deal with it by learning how to forget. Not necessarily forgive, but at least forget. That does not make perfect sense. It's a deep philosophical concept, Lubie, that I think is extremely useful. It has been a cleansing thing and useful tool in my life. And I'm not sure that I'm very good at it. Because, here I am talking about this, and I should have forgotten about it long before the show even started.
I mean, he doesn't have to. He can do what he wants. When you put those things out on social media, you're just.
Oh my God!
I think it's dumb. I did it like when Facebook first became a thing in like 2000s. I would do that because I didn't understand what it was, and either no one would respond at all or they would be mean. So, I learned, okay,
don't even bother, right?
Yeah,
don't say anything.
Do that, and then the thing with life is everything that's happened, good or bad, can be used for your future life. So to me, to sit there and be weird about it, well, this brought me, okay, who gives a shit? I'm sorry, I don't.
What are you gonna do? Lie face down in a gunner? You lost a bet. All right,
gives a crap.
That's it. Somehow Tommy DeVito led a comeback against the Green Bay Packers, and you were laying 5.5 points, and you got beat. What are you gonna do?
Exactly.
Learn to forget, man. Move on. Turn the page. Same thing. I mean, thoroughbred racing fans know what that's all about. What happens? You're sitting there next to somebody who's whining and complaining. Oh, my God, can you believe that? I left out the 2. And he's showing you your tickets. You've seen it a million times, Lubie. You're not even a bettor, and you've been unfortunately subjected to the fetching and moaning and complaining, bitterness by racing fans who happen to lose a bet. And what's the common phrase? You look the guy right in the eye and go, hey, you know what? Here's the racing form. Turn the fucking page. There's another race coming up in 5 minutes. Get over it. So, I mean, this may not be as simple, but like I said, it's art, it's poetry, it's a lyric, it's subject and open to interpretation. Let it mean whatever you want it to mean. So this woman starts attacking me on social media and puts a comment in there and says, yeah, how'd that work out for Morrison? I don't know. Here we are 50 years later. We're talking about his lyrics. So obviously he had a measure of success and an impact on the human race and humanity and the human condition. Perhaps, that most people would never achieve in 100 lifetimes.
He probably would. Look, Morrison probably was professing what he wishes he could do. Or
maybe so, yeah.
Could do. It doesn't, just because we try to things doesn't. You just said it. We're obviously talking about something. So even you didn't forget it, but that doesn't mean what you said was wrong. Doesn't mean what you said.
The woman's trying to point out that what an asshole comment that would be to put on, a friend of mine. I don't know. Be close friends. I'm not sure, but I certainly enjoyed a man when he's around and been to his house. And he seems like a really good guy. So you're trying to say, hey, this ain't easy, Joe, but learn to forget. Try your best. To find another way of interpreting whatever it was that happened in your lifetime. And here he is kind of asking for this kind of advice.
Yeah, well, I mean, look, I learned that lesson in college. I've been lucky to have really good friends my whole life. And you go to college and you meet people that are, what is that? They're just saying that friendships are in like their seasons, where some friendships are for like a lifetime, some are for short spurts, some are, and I didn't learn that till college, but I learned it in college. Like by the time in my
Yeah.
60s, you would think you've learned that fucking lesson. Like people are who people are. Some people are great at being good friends, and some people aren't, and it's okay. Neither's bad or good. It's just people have different points of contention in your life, and that's okay. I don't know. Social media, to do that stuff on social media, you're just leaving yourself open to get hammered. Not the fact that he got anyone supporting him is actually impressive. Like usually,
Oh no, he had a zillion people supporting him. Of which I was one, or so I thought. Anyway,
it's people
I
are.
mean, why would I put something derogatory or something that could be interpreted as negative? I mean, you would have made no comment at all. It's kind of like all social media. I mean, we talk about it all the time with the Mayo Let's Eat South Florida thing, where in general, and this was one thing, you touched on something that I originally liked about being on Facebook, which was people that you knew that you really enjoyed in the distant past all of a sudden would surface somewhere, and you're saying, wow, I can't believe it. 50 years later, I still have very, very fond memories of our friendship, even though I haven't seen you in half a century.
Yeah,
And it's nice to be able to communicate. I remember, I mean, you witnessed that one time when we were doing a show out at the Marlins spring training. And my friend Stroker and his wife came by because they're big baseball fans and they wanted to, come by. They said they were coming out to say hello. I would have had no way to get in touch with this guy. I hadn't seen him in 50 years.
exactly.
And sure enough, because of social media, I was able to, enjoy this gentleman's company and reminisce about the past there. And you felt like, hey, time really has condensed itself to the point where it's almost like it was yesterday, even though this was 50 years ago. And it makes you feel good. And so I thought, wow, that's one reason to be involved in this. But today was yet another example where I woke up and the first thing I saw was your name was mentioned in a couple of comments. And I'm looking at this and I'm in stunned disbelief that people could so badly misinterpret something that's so widely open to interpretation, like a simple line, like learn to forget. And, as I suggested to these people that, hey, you know what? That might be something that you want to take a look at, like right now. It makes you want to just click off the whole thing. I mean, it's probably more intense on what is now known as X,
Yes.
where, and was always interesting to me that you would get involved in these Twitter wars with people where you're never going to get the last word in because you're not face to face. And people always felt, and this was something that I learned to forget many years ago, that it is not always important to get in the last word.
Nah.
There are going to be people that are just going to keep hammering away at the same point that you think is outrageously stupid. And eventually, I mean, look what's going on in politics today.
Yeah, that's what
Watch it.
I learned 2 years ago. Like right when the election happened and Biden became president, I'm like, okay, I don't have to do this anymore. And I literally
Yeah.
stopped. Like whether sports or politics, I will give my opinion and then I remove myself. I don't even get in the middle of it because what happens is people don't even read what you're saying. They just want to say what they say, which is fine. They can. I'm just not going to fight with some random ass person on this stupid ass app. I use it for information purposes and then I remove myself.
Exactly.
I want
Yeah.
to fight all the time. And it's like, why? What is the point of fighting all the time? What are you getting done doing that? It's just stupid.
It's insane. It really is. It's absolutely the most self defeating thing that you could ever get involved in, and completely contrary to what the concept of these platforms for communication, I think, were originated for, and what their valuable purpose is, which is to promote some kind of positive good. On the restaurant review page there from the Sun Sentinel, Let's Eat South Florida, I try to deduce what's positive out of if I see a restaurant like the one we were at yesterday, Batch.
Yep.
And you see an overwhelming number of favorable reviews. And the owner there, Kevin, who turned out to be an extremely interesting guy, very entrepreneurial. It's
Yeah.
always fascinating to see how some of these people not only got started, but the drive that they have, while not necessarily seeming obsessive or possessed by the desire to make money. But this guy was a hardworking SOB, if you will, and had a very very approachable, and it wasn't like he was some kind of business maniac or something. And yet, he created something, and it was very sensitive to the idea that, well, what do people talk about? You could put out an unbelievable performance and feed 10 people in a party some of the best food that they've ever had, far exceeding their expectations of what was going to be available in terms of taste and culinary delights on the menu, satisfaction in terms of price. And then, the lone comment will be somebody was upset that they charged 50 cents for extra meat on a sandwich. I mean, and thinking of all the things that happen, this is the one thing, and then there'll be 200 comments on that page about how outrageous this is. But you have to be able to take the information that of the other 99 comments, everybody says, "Man, this place just knocked my eyeballs out. It was unbelievable," which it was. Although I think you have to sort of temper your enthusiasm for anything that is in a ball shape and is completely fried. I don't know what that was that the professor ordered yesterday. He described it to me. You said it was like potatoes and cheese and a fried ball. Well, we're going to be in another place. Don't they do that at Wicked Cheesesteaks? They have
fry everything there. That's right.
If you're eating more than 2 fried balls of anything, even a buffalo,
bad.
it's probably not a good sign for your waistline, is it?
100%. Which is fine. Just don't do a mayo and eat 3 meals like that. Just make that your one shit meal of the day. And then
Well, that was the amazing thing about mayo. You didn't eat that much when we were there at lunch, but he scarfed down a pretty good portion of stuff, and then it was only 3 hours later, and he's ordering more food.
He actually didn't eat last night at all.
Oh, okay, good. Yeah.
It was my purpose too. I like, especially places like that, to see how other people take it in. Like especially Ken. Like Ken's opinion's really important to me, and I was curious about him.
Oh, and Southern food would be a number one thing that he could tee up with.
He actually was a big fan
critique,
of most
yeah.
other things, which was really nice to hear. But yeah, mayo was actually good last night.
Good. Okay.
Much,
Because we want him to be around, this kid. He posted a picture from just a few years ago when he was running a half marathon.
Nothing the same. I was like, who the fuck is that guy?
That was before and after picture reverse. Where before the guy looked great. We don't want to get on this guy because he's going through a little bit of a tough time right now. And we wish, his mother all the best. Unfortunate health incident there. And hoping that she comes out of that. But I'm not going to comment if he says anything on Facebook. That's it. I'm done, Lubie.
Yeah. Honestly, even their best intentions go sideways.
My God,
it's people are just ready to yell. It's like, look, I understand we're all mad, but okay.
even our buddy Dave Lamont, who I have great respect for, and a guy, always has a solid opinion on sports. We don't agree on everything. Was jumping on my back saying, "Oh yeah, well, how do you do that, DeForest?"
Well, that's the whole point. Read the line. It wasn't you have to forget, right? It wasn't you have to forget.
No, it just says learn how to deal with it.
Isn't easy, but if you can try to learn.
See, you're so sharp, Louie.
Like
no, you are. You get this. We've been working together long enough where you get this.
It's like, well, it's just whatever. I've gotten older. Like life beats the shit out of you, and you just get up and you're like, all right, life. Fuck you.
What are you going to do? Curl up in the fetal position and crawl into a corner? Forget about it. You'd be like a Dolphin fan at that point.
Well, there's just so much good out there. Like that's the thing that should keep you
Take
going.
a deep breath. Go outside. I mean, even on the most atrocious appearing of days, which people would say, wow, this is a shitty day here in South Florida. I love it.
It's whatever, man.
Up by the beach, it's going to be 40 to 50 mile an hour gusts of wind. I'm just hoping I'm not between buildings on my walk of life, because what better time to try and formulate some kind of a positive viewpoint than to be amidst the most grim of circumstances. And if you can do that, then you know what, Lubie? You can learn to forget. But social media is so far out of whack. I mean, it's so misguided at this point. It's supposed to be social, as in sociable media, and yet it's anything but that. It just they should rename the whole platform antagonistic media or whatever.
Yes, they should change the term to
antisocial media.
Antisocial media.
Oh, you know what? Why don't we start a platform called Antisocial Media?
Social media.
There you go, man. I think I finally found the way out of this thing. It took me 72 and a half years to figure this out. Anti-social media. That's kind of like it was unfortunate that this domain was already taken, because we tried to buy the rights to gofuckyourself.com years ago.
Said to those people, they would have been. If it was you, you're nicer than I am. I would have been like, get the fuck out of here.
Where everybody, whatever story they're telling, the end result is you tell the person to go fuck yourself.
That's the whole thing.
You know what, Judge? Go fuck yourself. Now I'm sounding like Donald Trump.
Doesn't do that. That's one person that actually does look at the bright side of life, is this person
Gurggles Gergely?
on here. Like he's actually really good at just smiling and
He
taking.
has his own subtle needle, though, and way of telling
Oh, he's
people to go
funny
fuck themselves. I've seen
and
it. I've
witty.
witnessed it. I've witnessed it myself, actually, where I was trying to root for some 3-5 shot. And the Gurgles took great exception to that. Basically was saying, go fuck yourself. And then worse than outing you back at a time where, people were deep in the closet because they had, other, let's say, alternative lifestyles. I don't even know if you can say that anymore. But, they may not have wanted people to know what it was that they were doing when they were in the bedroom because of certain biases that, however unjust, still were very much in play. Gurgles will just go right ahead and out the fact that you're a stinking lowlife loser chalk playing douchebag when you're booting home a 3-5 shot. Because he'll just scream it out in the middle of the bar there at Nano's bar. Yeah, he's 3-5. You asshole. I mean, that's the implication. Gurgles, how are you, my friend?
Go fuck yourself.
Hey, Greg.
No, actually, sign me up for the antisocial.
Antisocial media.
For me. That is perfect.
Isn't that great?
For me.
Yeah.
Oh, I love that idea. Definitely.
That's what happens. I mean, your best of friends, or so you think, are like attacking you over the most innocuous and harmless of comments that you could make, including what I think is just a great piece of philosophical advice. Learn to forget.
Yes.
Right? I mean, it doesn't mean like you're ever going to be able to completely forget about something. If you can't, you can't. I mean, that's where it's at. But
I'm
you might be
forgetting
able
right
to.
now.
Yeah.
Yesterday, I went to the Hard Rock for a little bit.
Oh, how was that?
Oh, how was
It
that?
was interesting. I went over to the college basketball board and I had a 3-team parlay. Dartmouth.
I hope you use Vegas.
Dartmouth -3. David Shula's alma mater.
Okay.
And they win by 6.
Nice.
I had Louisville -3.5 over Morehead State, Phil Sims' alma mater. They win by 25. And then I'm in bed waiting for the late score. Weber State +8.5 in Ogden, Utah, because I'd been up in the hill there. Well, Nevada beat them by 20. So,
Oh, that was the UNLV game? Oh, no, that was University.
Oh, not
Nevada.
UNLV.
Okay.
UNLV beat Creighton. This was Nevada.
Knocked off the number 8 team.
But,
Holy Jerry Tarkanian. How was it?
It's interesting. Really, instead of Vegas, where you and I are familiar with, where they have numbers of the games, you just actually call out the game itself.
Okay.
So the tellers have to be pretty sharp there, and they don't have like number 18 is the under/over on the Eagles or whatever. You just call out the game, and the people were very polite, very understanding. It's going to take them a while. There was 3 tellers there, but it was on a Wednesday. So I imagine Saturdays and Sundays it'll be hopping.
They want you to use the self-betting kiosk there or whatever that is.
Yeah, that's what they want you to. I like the human interaction.
Yeah.
I prefer that.
I don't know how to work those machines anyway. I mean, I can barely get money from an ATM machine at this point.
But you're right about the weather. We are. I'm in the golf course right now.
How's it looking?
We had the front 9 open yesterday. Today we're waiting, and it doesn't look good all the way through Sunday, I think. And our golf pro is at Doral because this is the World Junior Championship from all over the world. And these poor kids, I hope they're able to get it. So.
All right. We're going to get into the Hialeah Park Trivia Challenge here in just a moment with Dave Gurggles Gergely. It's always good to have Gurggles on the program here. You can dial us up if you'd like to play, 954-417-0070, 954-417-0070. Lubie will pick up the phone. We'll pop you on the air, and you'll have a chance to win a Landlubber's gift certificate if you play the game. The Hialeah Park Trivia Challenge on tap next here on the Defo and Lubie show as we continue in a moment with Dave Gurggles Gergely as the master of ceremonies. Now that.
The time.
I don't know why. It really shook me up. I got to learn to forget. It's 8:30. Ponies in Style at Champions, the outstanding simulcasting room at beautiful Hialeah Park. Yes, the grand old lady of thoroughbred racing has never been more vibrant, and you can wager on the races from the top tracks around the country while enjoying a cocktail at the Brass Rail Bar or any of the fine food served throughout the facility. If poker is your game, you're covered in style, and you can play all your favorite Vegas-style games, including blackjack, craps, and roulette, in Hialeah Park's sizzling hot casino. Get a player's card when you walk through the door for all kinds of generous amenities, including our favorite, free play, when you come out to the ultimate casino and entertainment destination, Hialeah Park.
These days, we're all looking for comfort anywhere we can find it. Thank goodness for Landlubbers Raw Bar and Grill in the Plantation, because they are making sure you are as comfortable as possible. First of all, they're not only open for delivery and pickup. All you have to do is go to landlubbersbarandgrill.com for both pickup and free delivery. You're going to have the best wings in the world. You're going to have a great burger. You're going to have their amazing soups. Again, Landlubbers, Raw Bar and Grill. It's nice and easy. Just go to landlubbersbarandgrill.com for both your pickup and free delivery. Thank goodness for Landlubbers for making you always feel right at home.
Are you looking to buy your first home? Have you been turned down for a loan? Do you need to refinance or get money out of your home? Call Michael Kodsey, CEO of Choice Mortgage. He's been helping the South Florida community get mortgages for 30 years.
Hi, this is Michael Kodsey, CEO of Choice Mortgage. We have the most competitive fixed rates in the market. Call me 24/7, 561-441-2730. And remember, I don't just work banking hours. To make the right choice for your home, call Choice Mortgage today.
Oh, Solo Volante will be coming late. Oh, Solo Volante, the Belmont's now 1.8 miles. The finish line is coming up quick. Luca Panici, just switch the stick.
The only way to get your morning started is with Defo, joined by Lubie, right here on The Defo Show.
All right, welcome back to the show, The Defo Show. Jeff DeForest, Mike Lubie Lubitz, Dave Gurggles Gergely, ready to conduct the Hialeah Park Trivia Challenge. And you can find us on Google and across all anti-social media platforms, which would be the appropriate place for anything that we do in this communications business, so-called communications. All right, we're going to get it started here with Dave Gurggles Gergely. That was the Polyman, of course, the great Paul Massell, who seems to be doing fine. I know an assortment, you talk about it, a guy that has had to learn to forget. It would be the Polyman, Paul Massell, who oddly forgets nothing from the distant past, but may have trouble, like we all do, struggles with short-term memory. So we want to get into the game. You can dial us up if you want to play, 954-417-0070. What's the prize? The prize, of course, is a Landlubber's gift certificate, where Lubie will be appearing tonight, which, I think it's fair to say that that might be the most interesting of the trivia availabilities that are out there. I'm not sure how it goes in other places. I know we have a lot of guys that are competitors on the show here that go around to various bars for live trivia circumstances. I think it's almost unanimous, Lubie, if not outright unanimous decision, that you and the professor conduct one of the better trivia competitions at any bar anywhere. So that's at Landlubbers tonight. What time? 6:30?
6:30. It's different. It's Ken. I mean, anyone who's heard Ken here, he's going to push it a little bit.
Yes.
He's going to make you think a little bit, and we always try to have a good time. So, yeah, 6:30.
Try not to show up in a Celtics jersey with a 6 on the back. All right, Gurggles appears to be immersed deep in thought here. And also, have you been out in the sun? Oh, is he frozen?
I think he froze. I'm like,
that's never a good circumstance.
Like, that's an interesting position to just be sitting in.
I was saying he appears to be immersed deep in thought here, like he's trying to figure out what the hell did Morrison mean about learn to forget. What exactly does that mean, DeForest? Not sure. Okay, yeah, we kind of lost Gergs there for the time being, so we'll try to pick that up. But when he is available, we'll get back into the game, or hopefully so, at 954-417-0070. 954-417-0070. We do have players ready to go here. They're on today.
We actually have a lot of people today. I'm like, okay, of course. I not to call. I know everyone's like calling me. We have our full load actually ready to go.
That's the way it is. I mean, the best of plans sometimes get erased here. Okay, there he is. It's a moving Gurggles. So that's good. All right, we're ready to fire Dave if you are.
Yes.
Dave's got the first set of questions here dedicated to our dear friend who has not passed away. I don't want to imply that for a second. Yeah, you said he was dead, Defo. No, he's very much alive. Dedicated to our dear friend, the Polyman. Here's Dave Gurggles Gergely in our first set of questions. And I'm going to start it out with some.
Easy baseball. This long-suffering Chicago broadcaster posed the following riddle. What does a mama bear on birth control have in common with the World Series? That's easy. No Cubs. Who's that? The late, great Harry Carey, Mariah Carey, Cary Grant, or Grant Long?
Holy cow. The scrambler lands on Mike. Mike, you're up first on the Hialeah Park Trivia Challenge. Good morning, sir.
Hey, you got a Cubs fan here, so watch it, sucker. Hey.
1908, man. And they finally got off to Schneid.
Oh, yeah, you've won since.
Very good.
Mike, hoops, true or false? Believe it or not, Master P's son is one of the best high school basketball players in the entire country and had an absolutely gaudy stat line Monday night when he dropped in 68 points, 10 rebounds, and 3 assists. True or false?
I'll go true.
It is true.
Sounds good. Yeah. All right. Very good. 2 for 2, Mike. Heading for 5.
Okay, NFL football. Rob Baronis of the Titans in 2007 set a still-standing record of 8 field goals in a single game versus
Ooh.
what's that? The Bengals, the Panthers, the Raiders, or the Texans?
Raiders.
Wow.
No,
Oh,
it was
incorrect.
It was the Texans, as a matter of fact.
See, I got a thing blocking your thumb there. So, okay. I thought you gave it the thumbs up. 2 going for 7 to set the pace here.
All right, golf. Bernhard Langer and his son Jason have won the PNC Father and Son Championship up in Orlando 4 times. If they win it again this year, it will tie them with what father and son team, or better known as whom?
Oh.
John Daly and his son, Jack Nicklaus and his son, Gary Player and his son, or Ray Floyd and his son?
Floyd.
I'm going to say, he said Floyd.
Floyd.
I'm going to
That's
say,
right.
that's right. Oh,
Ray
I was going to
Floyd
go
and his
Gary
son.
Player.
Well done.
Good
All right,
job.
7 points there, Mike. Nice way to start us out. 954-417-0070 on the phone lines. 954-417-0070. You doing any good, Gurggles, at the championship meet yet?
I haven't been there that much, luckily, because I had tournaments. But I'll tell you, keep your eye on one kid. We won't see him this weekend much because of the weather. But the kid that came down from Laurel, Ruiz, on the turf, really quite good at some prices. So keep your eye on him. And David Fox is having a good meet, who we all know comes by Fernando's bar there. But it's interesting. We will see. Hopefully, I don't imagine there'll be any turf the whole weekend. But I like what
if they're running at all. I guess, horses, that's one thing. They will run in very adverse conditions. And, nothing like it. That's one of the things I like about the simulcast, because we're down here living a Ratso Rizzo dream, and then you're watching races from Aqueduct and Mahoning, and they're being conducted in the snow. And you're thinking, well, wow, I mean, what does it take to cancel a day of horse racing? And the answer is a lot. All right, ready for our next contestant here, 954-417-0070. Nice lead off by Mike as he pokes one in the right center field for a double. 7 points to start us out. And here we go with Dave and the next set of questions.
Golf. This golfer, on playing on the senior tour, said, you know what's nice about the senior tour? You can't remember any of the bad shots you hit.
There you go. Learn to forget. It's the theme of the show.
Bob Bruce, Lenny the Chronic, or High Colonic?
The Scrambler. It's our good friend Pat. No, he has posted something here, and I must have forgotten about this because I didn't strike out much as a hitter. I was one of those old school guys that choked up a little bit with 2 strikes, and it's pretty good at getting a bound on a ball. Did I really strike out against you in a senior league game back in Belmore, New York, Pat?
I don't know. I mean,
you don't remember either. See, that's the thing.
I may have.
Must have been a wicked breaking ball there and a bad call.
Team. It was called the Matadors. You remember the Matadors?
You know what? I don't.
Smoked cigarettes out in the outfield.
Not uncommon, yeah. When it wasn't like you had Roger Maris out there at Clemente. All right, you have 1 point, Pat. You're in the game.
All right, Pat Sports. Believe it or not, Kurt Gowdy on the American Sportsman, when he came to Maine for woodcock hunting segment, one of his special guests was none other than Brooks Robinson.
Wow.
True or false?
I'll go with true.
Got to be
true. Yeah, that's true.
They were always doing weird stuff on the American Sportsman, weren't they?
Yes.
You could question whether or not that was, a gray area, whether it actually delved into pornography with some of the stuff that they were doing with Phil Harris and the boys. All right, you have 2 and going for 5 here.
Football, Pat. San Francisco's running back Christian McCaffrey's 2-yard touchdown run made him the 3rd player in NFL history with 50 TDs on the ground and 25 or more via reception. he joins Marshall Faulk and who?
Ooh.
Jim Taylor, Eric Dickerson, Lenny Moore, or Roger Craig?
Wow.
4.
Says Lenny Moore, and he's right.
Wow, he knew it
Yeah.
with authority.
The old Baltimore Colt, right? Lenny Moore.
Yes.
Fantastic. All right, gunning for the sweep here, Pat. Which would be probably a bigger accomplishment than striking me out in senior league ball.
All right, NBA. In 2003, at age 18, then young LeBron James became the youngest ever NBA player to score 30 or more points when he scored 33 points versus
Ooh.
Vancouver, Philly, New Jersey, or Memphis.
Vancouver.
The Grizzlies.
No, it was in a double overtime loss to the then Memphis Grizzlies.
Oh my God!
Congratulations to the Detroit Pistons on a 21st consecutive loss last night. And right drafting in there behind them, like a cheap claiming maiden at Penn National, you have San Antonio with 18 straight losses. Right? You're not betting those 0 for 18 maidens, are you?
No.
That's weird, too, to have two teams. I wonder what the $100 money line parlay would be worth on that. I would imagine every night you're playing into very prohibitive odds, as we have a frozen Dave Gurggles Gergely there for the time being. Pat ends up with 5 points, so the game is wide open. With Mike with 7, Pat with 5. Still a good opportunity to get to the finals. Dial us up if you want to play, 954-417-0070, 954-417-0070. And while we try to regroup, there you go. We got Gurggles again.
It keeps going off, and I have to go out and come back on. I'll have to find out what's up.
Yeah, I don't know. Well, maybe it's the weather. That could be. It could be, fucking with the link, as they say. All right, Perdomo Cigars while we have you here.
Went to see Nick and the gang this week, and when I was out on the course for Larry Little's tournament, of course, I had a nice Perdomo cigar, and I probably told you I offered LT one, and he pulled one out of his pocket. He smokes them as well. You don't have to be Lawrence Taylor. You don't have to be me. You can be just anybody to go to Perdomo Cigars, 5150 Northwest 167th Street on the Palmetto, just a little bit east of the Home Depot on the south side of the street. There I am in the Maldives smoking one. You can be in Hialeah, Pembroke Pines, anywhere you want and get a Perdomo cigar. 305-627-6700, the number to call. 5150 Northwest 167th Street, the place to go. You're going to go this Saturday and Sunday. You say, man, the weather's going to be horrible. I want to go out in my Florida room, watch a little football, and smoke a great cigar. On Saturday and Sunday, they're not open. They're a family business, but any tobacconist worth their salt will have them. If you're not sure, go online, www.perdomocigars.com. This Sunday, when the Jets cover against the Dolphins, the Dolphins win the game, put something great in your mouth with a cigar from Perdomo Cigars.
It's down to 8.5, by the way. You see that?
Down to 8.5?
I think it's going to go down.
Oh, that's annoying. So
the Jets now feature, and this is an oddity with these two quarterbacks, but the two New York quarterbacks, the Giants and the Jets, Tommy DeVito, of course, writing a Dave Gurggles Gergely type of Cinderella story, and Zach Wilson with his 30-point second half and very good stats, no interceptions. They were both named the Player of the Week in their respective conferences. NFC Offensive Player of the Week, I guess Player of the Week overall, might be offensive. What was DeVito, and Zach Wilson was the Player of the Week offensively. What were the odds of that?
Yeah, well,
imagine if you bet that 3 weeks ago.
They had that headline written about Zach Wilson a long time ago, but they spelled it W-E-A-K instead of W-E-E-K. But this time they came through. God bless them. Good for them.
Yeah, we'll see. I mean, it certainly has scared a lot of Dolphin backers off, especially after that hideous collapse that they had last week against the lowly Tennessee Titans. All right, we'll come back and continue with our quest for brilliance here and intellectual supremacy on the Hialeah Park Trivia Challenge with Dave Gurggles Gergely, In-N-Out Burger with Dave, but mostly in, so that's good. Mike Lubie Lubitz, I'm Jeff DeForest, and we're coming back with more on the challenge in a moment. Now that.
The time.
8:45.
Folks, Tony Segreto here. Let me ask you a question. What do you look for when you go out to eat? Good food, obviously, friendly atmosphere, not too loud, but good energy, reasonable prices, and a place where you feel comfortable. All those ingredients, no pun meant there, are hard to find unless you're talking about the Texas Roadhouse. You see, they encompass all of those attributes. Really, really good food, amazing atmosphere, good for a family, good for a date, or just a night out for yourself, and prices that will make you extremely happy. Their ribs, unmatched. Steaks hand cut every day. Everything, and I mean everything, is made on site, including their incredible bread. It's the one day, folks, that you can forget about low-carb diets. Trust me when I tell you, Texas Roadhouse, your restaurant, your destination when you say, where should we go and eat tonight?
From the newly renovated sports bar to the beautiful bayside views captured at the Tiki Bar, Jimmy Johnson's Big Chill has it all. Located at mile marker 104, the Big Chill also offers waterfront dining while experiencing breathtaking sunset views of the Florida Keys. It's simply the hottest spot in the Keys to cool off. That's Jimmy Johnson's Big Chill at mile marker 104 in Key Largo. For more information, call today at 305-453-9066.
We hand the ball to one Dave Gurggles Gergely.
It was the Thursday before Christmas, just a little before 8. No longer on radio, but this YouTube thing could be great. We're live with Lubie and Defo and their Hanukkah menorah, and me at the golf course with people yelling, Fora! While callers line up to use the phone line, just one, alas, the Hialeah Trivia Challenge still is great fun. The questions are all asked with great glee by Gurggles, the evil seed, who hope no one scores a total more than 3. With hopes that the show will draw folks from near and far, one thing is for sure, you certainly can't beat a Perdomo cigar. That's all true. The best to Leslie Visser from BC and the Duke who went to Harvard or Yale. We're proud to know 2 folks who we can call if we need bail. The guys each give their ideal gifts just for fun. For Defo, it's Luca Panici and a back wheel at 50-1. For Lubie, who works hard every single day, another trip with his wife Shirley to Hawaii so he can get a lay. Now it's time to end this tale and get on to the show. So let's hear from the red-suited man with his constant ho-ho-ho. On Ron, on Andy, on Pat, Mike, and Lenny the Chronic, whose many certificates make Alex Dufresne switch from coffee to doubles of gin and tonic. Merry Christmas from Defo, Lubie, and Gurggles to all of you all. And for the new year, Paulie Man, our favorite, how about a little easy baseball?
That's brilliant, man.
That was amazing. Good job.
That might have been your best one.
That was great.
I know there have been others that we said the same
that.
thing, because at
That
the
was
time,
so
right,
great.
you're only as good as your last film. But that was tremendous, Gurggles.
The best way to kick off your day is with Defo plus Lubie. We now return to the Defo Show.
Had a deep meaning. It really did. All of it. Polyman, by the way, supposedly making an appearance now that they've gotten to skinnier Santas, which is in vogue. Like a healthy Santa. They want to, kind of douse the flame on the whole idea that it's good to be a fat man. And Polyman will be appearing as a Santa at the Dadeland Mall for the week prior to Christmas. So little kids on his kneecap, that would not be perfect. What you want to do is tell your bookie, little Johnny, no juice for the big man.
Yeah, well, Paulie's used to dealing with 3-year-olds, but usually they're running for 8,500 claiming. So it's a little bit different. And
Paulie surrounded by little kids, huh? I mean,
I saw Paulie as a Salvation Army Santa, and he had the red bucket, and then next to it he had win, place, and show buckets. I hope he's doing okay.
Yeah, no, I'm sure he is. He sounds like he's in perfectly good spirits, so that's great.
Good.
We wish him all the best. Right, we want to conclude the game here in rapid-fire fashion, try and get in another player or two. Okay. Let's get right to it. We do have Mike with 7, Pat with 5. Here's Dave.
All right, NBA hoops. This Utah Jazz coach, trying to motivate one of his players, asked him, "Son, what is it with you? Is it ignorance or apathy?" To which the player responded, "Coach, I don't know, and I don't care." Frank Layden, Elmer Fudd, or Roger Mudd?
All right, here's a scrambler. Check our next player out. Wow. It's always good to hear from this man. It's confirmation that things are going well. Andy from Parts Unknown. How are you? Welcome to the show. Glad you're okay.
But brother, first time caller, how are you?
Doing all right, man. We saw a picture of you at Landlubbers. I believe that was last Thursday night, and it was very heartening to see you out and about, my friend. So that's good.
Yeah, last time
there's a guy there that looked like Ruby.
Last time you called, it was first time caller, long time intravenous. So I was a little worried about it. All right.
Yeah, you do lead the league in players that have been on an IV at the time that they were, on the competition for the game. All right, you have 1 point, Andy.
College football, Andy. True or false? Believe it or not, the University of Colorado School of Journalism, according to a journalism student, will now offer a course titled CMCI 421 called Primetime public performance and leadership based on, of course, Deion Sanders' job.
True or false?
I heard that yesterday. I believe that to be true.
True.
It is true.
It is true. Wow. Okay.
It is true. How about that one?
Yeah.
Wow.
Fucking
He's got a lot of people bamboozled, this Deion Sanders. It's amazing. All
So-
right, 2 for 2. Was he 4-8 this year? That is the most celebrated 4-8 season in the history of any sport.
They literally finished 1-7 their last 8 games.
Yeah, but they were
NBA.
1-13 last year, weren't they? Or 1-12
Yes,
last year.
what an improvement.
Unbelievable.
NBA, Andy, 3-point question. In his 10-year career, Jeremy Lin played for 8 different teams. Who did he end his NBA career with? Was
Good
it
question.
Atlanta, Toronto, Charlotte, or Houston?
Oh, that's funny.
Toronto.
That's what I'm going to say.
Well done.
Yes.
Well done.
Wow. He was a Raptor, banished to Canada there. Like he was leaving just before the
Radiation
Vietnam War.
is making me. The radiation is making me smarter.
Yeah.
You're gunning for the sweep and a spot in the finals here, Andy. Good luck with this one.
NFL.
Here we go.
In 19
Here we go.
in 1998, Dan Marino became the first quarterback to throw for 400 touchdowns in a game the Dolphins defeated who?
Oh.
In a game. My
The
goodness.
Saints, the Bears, the Jets, or the Giants?
How many did he throw in the game?
Who?
400? Like, I know Marino was good.
Straight.
What do
Well,
you
he
say?
threw 400 touchdowns in one game?
No, for his career. In his
Oh,
400
oh.
touchdown game.
This was his 400th career touchdown pass.
The Saints, the Bears, the Jets.
I got
or
it.
the
I
Giants?
got it.
There you go.
I'll go with the Jets. It's always the Jets.
No, it
No.
was the New Orleans Saints.
All right. I'm with you, Andy. All right, don't go too far, Andy. You're in the spinoff here for a chance to go to the finals. And Lubie's going to take care of that while he does. Another word about Perdomo Cigars. We'll come back to the finals of today's edition of the Hialeah Park Trivia Challenge in just a moment here. Gurggles, fire away, my friend.
Folks, it's the holiday time. Ladies or men, you got somebody special, your boss or yourself. You want to buy something special for Christmas? Go to Perdomo Cigars, 5150 Northwest 167th Street on the south side of the Palmetto, heading a little bit east to west. And you'll see them there. Go in there. Nuvia will lead you into the humidor. You can buy a nice box, or you can get a gift card from Perdomo Cigars and let somebody pick out the cigars they want. They make them perfect one at a time, grown in Cuban seed tobacco, grown in Nicaragua. Nick's the third generation. Nick Jr. is involved as well. Nick Jr. had a little beautiful baby girl as well. Go in there, say hello to the whole family-run operation of the best cigar you'll find in South Florida. So whether it's a humidor, a cigar, a lighter, whatever you want, make sure you stop by Perdomo Cigars for this holiday season and put something great in your mouth with a cigar from Perdomo Cigars.
All right, Louie, we set for the finals here? How'd that turn out?
I said for the finals. I wanted
Okay,
to.
all right, we'll go ahead and get some very important messages in.
Pat got his way in. So Pat and Mike.
Pat and Mike going to square off with the championship in just a
All
moment
right.
here, and we'll have that in a sec as we come back with Dave Gurggles Gergely and the championship question on the Hialeah Park Trivia Challenge in a moment. Now that.
The time.
8:55. Ponies in Style at Champions, the outstanding simulcasting room at beautiful Hialeah Park. Yes, the grand old lady of thoroughbred racing has never been more vibrant, and you can wager on the races from the top tracks around the country while enjoying a cocktail at the Brass Rail Bar or any of the fine food served throughout the facility. If poker is your game, you're covered in style, and you can play all your favorite Vegas-style games, including blackjack, craps, and roulette, in Hialeah Park's sizzling hot casino. Get a player's card when you walk through the door for all kinds of generous amenities, including our favorite, free play, when you come out to the ultimate casino and entertainment destination, Hialeah Park.
These days, we're all looking for comfort anywhere we can find it. Thank goodness for Landlubbers Raw Bar and Grill in Plantation, because they are making sure you are as comfortable as possible. First of all, they're not only open for delivery and pickup. All you have to do is go to landlubbersbarandgrill.com for both pickup and free delivery. You're going to have the best wings in the world. You're going to have a great burger. You're going to have their amazing soups. Again, Landlubbers, Raw Bar and Grill. It's nice and easy. Just go to landlubbersbarandgrill.com for both your pickup and free delivery. Thank goodness for Landlubbers for making you always feel right at home.
Are you looking to buy your first home? Have you been turned down for a loan? Do you need to refinance or get money out of your home? Call Michael Codsey, CEO of Choice Mortgage. He's been helping the South Florida community get mortgages for 30 years.
Hi, this is Michael Codsey, CEO of Choice Mortgage. We have the most competitive fixed rates in the market. Call me 24/7, 561-441-2730. And remember, I don't just work banking hours. To make the right choice for your home, call Choice Mortgage today.
Flair, the world's heavyweight champion. I don't have to say a lot more about the way I feel about Ric Flair. No respect, no honor. There is no honor among thieves. He put hard times on Dusty Rhodes and his family. That is.
The only way to get your morning started is with Defo, joined by Lubie, right here on the Defo Show.
Yeah, man, the great Dusty Rhodes, late great Dusty Rhodes. I mean, was my all-time champion. But, yeah, I mean, not happy with Ric Flair at all. I could see those two getting into a war. I think Ric Flair's largesse in professional wrestling far exceeded anything that Dusty Rhodes ever did, even though he was very popular here in the Deep South, Dusty Rhodes. More of a regional guy, I think. All right, Dave Gurggles Gergely, speaking of professional wrestlers of great acclaim, could have easily been. You would have been a great professional wrestler because your interviews would have been the best of the best. I think. If you were like
I'd rather
bad
been a
guy,
manager like Red Berry. I like being
could have been an evil seed, yeah, like Wild Red Berry, the great Wild Red Berry. May he
By
rest
the way,
in peace.
trivia question for you and Lubie before we get to the finals. Pat and Mike was also a great movie. Can you name either of the co-stars in that movie?
Nope, don't remember the movie at all.
Katharine Hepburn and Spencer Tracy.
Oh, wow.
Katharine Hepburn was a lady golfer. He was her agent who eventually married her. Pat and Mike. Have you ever seen it? Good one. There you go.
I haven't seen it, no. I mean, they only showed that one movie of that era during Rain Out Theater. That was the Monty Stratton story, which I've fallen in love with. I mean, just a tremendous story. Jimmy Stewart and June Allison, who were always featured in movies of a very similar ilk with their, romantic story. It was much more innocent back then. The stuff that they offered up in the media. All right, we're ready for the finals here. Mike and Pat going to square off here. Pat acing out Andy at the last minute, but Andy is okay. We assure everybody he was okay. It wasn't due to any kind of a medical emergency with Andy. And so we're ready. Dave's going to fire off a question. Call out your name if you would like to answer right away. Nobody answers right away. We offer multiple choice. The first person to shout out his name gets first chance. We go back and forth till we have a winner, trying to crown a champion here. In this week's edition of the Hialeah Park Trivia Challenge, here is Dave Gurggles Gergely.
All right, here's a question about somebody as old as Jeff and I. NFL football. Browns quarterback Joe Flacco threw 3 touchdown passes, each for over 30 yards. He was the first quarterback of Cleveland Browns to do that since
Who?
All right,
Anybody?
multiple choice.
Yeah.
Brian Hoyer, Bernie Kosar, Milt Plum, or Brian Sipe?
Pat. Who was it?
Plum.
Plum.
No.
Incorrect. 3 left for Mike.
Yep. Brian Hoyer, Bernie Kosar, or Brian Sipe?
Hoyer.
Hoyer.
No.
Incorrect. A pair left for Pat.
Bernie Kosar or Brian Sipe?
Kosar.
Had to be Sipe, yeah. Had to be Sipe.
October 12/21/1980, the last time a Cleveland Browns quarterback did that.
Congrats,
Right,
Mike, for backing your way in. Mike is our champion.
Mike backs in, gets the gift certificate to Landlubbers. Gurggles, what do you have on tap here? More time at the track?
We're working
Golf?
a little bit. I've got it's renewal time for memberships. Just before we came on the air, I signed up a brand new member. I got a couple more I've got to deal with.
Okay.
And then this afternoon, it's with the rain. I might sneak out somewhere where I can make some kind of wager.
12:50, first race post time for Aqueduct today. And,
Okay.
yeah, they're only running
That's
8,
late.
so get out there.
12:50. It's usually 12:10.
Yeah, no, they changed it up today. I'm running only 8 races. I don't know if that
Oh, no wonder.
represents
Okay. Got
any
it.
more of a consistent change here.
By the way, if you are betting the big A, the guy that's the hottest rider right there, Romero Mirage.
Oh,
Keep
yeah?
your eye on him. Yep, that's
Wow,
it.
okay. That's something to look for. Gurggle's pretty good with this kind of stuff. All right, and you've noticed since Doug Brainard took over with what, Bachiza and your man, Jimmy Graham, that they
Yep.
seem to be winning a lot.
Yeah.
So that's nice
Jimmy
to see.
Graham was the leading rider at the fairgrounds, and Mike might see you tonight, Mike. I hope. Let's see.
Oh, come out. We'd love to have you.
Sounds great.
Love to. It's Landlubber's best food, and you were right. That trivia show is special.
They do a good job. And if you show up and there's a celebrity appearance, that's
Chronic too.
even more remarkable. All right.
Love it.
All right, we have to run. A lot of stuff to do here. Lubie and I have still the Tony Bruno Sports Network show, which we will conduct from 10 to 12 here on the East Coast. And you can just download the app there, Tony Bruno Sports Network. Hey, how do I get it? One thing about it, when it's working, I mean, it comes in. I mean, it's a booming sound, especially if you Bluetooth the thing through your car stereo or whatever. Because people were always complaining, well, geez, I used to be able to just punch up a radio show when you guys were on. I understand the simplicity of that, but this is just about as simple. And what was being said for years about AM talk radio would be, wow, if we were on FM, this would really sound like some shit. And it does. It has an FM sound when it's working. So, and lately, what? For the most part, it's been working. I'm not sure how I feel about that Christmas music thing. Sarni seems to like it. I find it a real departure from whatever it is that we're doing.
I think it's random, but whatever.
To be able to take 3 minutes out of the hour and get a breath, right?
Yeah.
All right. We're going to have that, and possibly Brandon Lang going to join us there. He's always a hoot, so that'll be a lot of fun, and then maybe some surprises. So tune in 10 to 12 there, Tony Bruno Sports Network. Later on today, we'll be at Wicked Cheesesteaks. That is a great place. I mean, people are constantly asking, where can I get the best cheesesteak? And among the best places would be Wicked Cheesesteaks, right there south of Commercial on the east side of Federal Highway. And it's just a great spot. Very creative, Brian. That's one thing, too. We've learned about this whole thing with the Let's Eat South Florida group.
Yeah,
radio show. These guys are very, very caring and creative about what they're doing.
Well,
yeah, go ahead.
Everyone wants a cheesesteak, but they make great pizza. They do great wings.
Yeah.
He does quesadillas. He does
lobster rolls,
gyros, lobster rolls, anything you'd want. Your whole party will be very happy because you don't have to just get one thing. And the cheesesteaks are fantastic.
Great, and a variety of different ways also, man. He's got ones that have a little more heat on them. I mean, terrific job. Yeah, finest of meats and everything. And reasonable, too. I think, for the Thursday night football game, which you might need to eat your way through, as features the Raiders and the Chargers and what figures to be just an absolute bore fest later on this evening. And yet we're so addicted to football, just like social media. I'll be right back on Facebook there, seeing if this woman responded to my comment, because I can't let it go.
I wouldn't not even read this shit.
That was something else that I found particularly profound that I didn't understand at the time. A guy told me this when I was like maybe 17 years old. A guy that was considered to be sort of one of these old wise men among our friends. And he was an older gentleman. And he just looked at me and he said, let go. And you know what? If you apply that to just about everything you did, including this kind of stuff, it definitely helps overall. You're sitting there all self-conscious about everything. Does my eyebrow look okay? You can't do it. I mean, you're never going to get to the point where you're doing your best. So anyway, there it is. Very philosophical program today, Lubie. Very philosophical. And, of course, congratulations to our winner of the Trivia Challenge. All right, we'll see you next time. That'll be 1 o'clock today. Mike Mayo, Lunchbox Show. Wicked Cheesesteaks. I suggest you guys check that out. I think you're going to like it. And that's just south of Commercial Boulevard in Fort Lauderdale on Federal Highway. You just jog your way in there. It's across from Holy Cross Hospital. If you pass the hospital and you're going north, then you went too far. And so, great spot. We'll see you then. And thanks for tuning in, everybody. See you next time as we leave it on that.
The time.
It's 9:05.
Let's go to eat a damn snack.
Look what they done to my soul.